In the late 1990s, Nintendo released a Game Boy game in America. The game was simple, a bit rough around the edges, childish, but very, very good and very, very addicting. This, my friends, was the start of the Pokémon craze. The reputation was unlike anyone has ever seen. Children were glued to their Game Boy screens for so long that parents tried to keep them away by connecting the little monsters to the devil. Schools made futile attempts to ban the drug as 10-year-olds snuck in with little portable systems hidden in their lunchboxes, only to end up in a fisticuff brawl as a trade or a battle went horribly wrong during recess. No one was safe. Pokémon affected everyone, and for being such a popular series, rumors eventually arose. Oh, the rumors that arose. Every neighborhood had their own special Pokemon rumor. Bill's Backyard, Mew 3, How to Get Mew itself, Pokegods, Fighting Professor Oak, like using a precious item finder in a particular location 1,000 times, and right at the 1,000th time, pressing start and saving the game, then restarting, but you have to have Peekaboo in your party, and you have to have them, you need to do something or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, in this thread we will not only be exploring these rumors, how to do what is mentioned in these rumors, but much more. We will gather creatures that were meant to be sealed forever. We will enter forbidden lands that will most likely crash the game after taking one step. We will do what no man has had the balls to do, for tonight, we will break.
Oh man, another Pokemon LP, how original.
Wait, before you hit that back button, allow me to say this will be a very different Pokemon LP. At least I think so. Instead of the usual collecting badges with first-person narration and general confusion over how the world works, we will be focusing on one, well, two, maybe three things only. The main one being glitches. Wonderful, unpredictable glitches.
Glitches? What? That sounds stupid.
Perhaps it is, but in the first generation Pokemon games, glitches run rampant and are quite interesting. Well, they don't really run rampant since I'm going to be sharking this game a lot to do what I need to do, but there are enough out there to allow anyone to break the game without the use of a game shark.
There are a bunch of blobs and the music is weird. Oh man, there's a letter, what's going on?
A lot of the glitches we will run into will be graphically oriented, as well as sound. I guess you can call this LP a bit of a hybrid, since some of what happens when running into a glitched Pokemon / trainer can't really be described in words. Let me just say this, and I know it's going to sound stupid, but when listening to some of these videos / sound files for the first time, try not to do it before bed. It sounds really stupid, but if you have fond memories of the first gen games as a kid, the manipulation can get kinda freaky.
You're using a Game Shark, you cheater.
Don't even think about saying this, you'll just look stupid. Alright, I think I got everything settled, let's get started. No! Pretty simple name, but what we name ourselves actually affects a certain famous glitch in the future. Granted, if I made my name a bunch of symbols, said glitch would turn out more entertaining, but I decided to stick with this for easier reading. More for me than for you. Besides, what we can encounter, we will through GameShark. Keep thinking derp is spelled derp. Not that it matters much for this LP anyway, but I can't be the only one who thinks Blue's overworld sprite is the derpiest thing made. And just like that, we're ready to walk into the grass, begin our first adventure with Oak and have some good, clean fun. I would like to take this moment to thank God the Gen 1 games don't force you to have any tirades with your mother. Hell, you can completely ignore her in this game. From Gen 2, she forces a bunch of pointless story crap that no one ever cares about. So let's take our first step into the grass and... yeah, right. Wait, are you walking over the barrier? Yep. The walk through walls code is on now, and I'll be making good use of it for most of this playthrough. It's a bit annoying turning it off and on since the game crashes if you go out of bounds, or it'll freak out during a scripted event where Red has to walk himself. For example, when you have it on when you meet Oak for the first time, Red will just keep walking north until he goes out of bounds, and the game crashes. There can be some neat things to be found through the walk through walls code, and I may not know it all. If you know some interesting places to check out, feel free to share. Now, what we're doing here is just a quick show off of what happens when you go into a fight with no Pokemon. I'm pretty sure every kid with Pokemon and a Game Shark has done this, but we'll do it anyway just to ease the explorative spirit of the thread. Ah, a wild blank. Well, actually it's a Pidgeotto. What is happening now, and what is about to happen, is pretty much the same for any wild Pokemon you meet without Pokemon yourself. Also notice how it says I have nothing but fainted Pokemon. Not sure what that means, but hey, it's there. Since the game needs to have red let out a Pokemon, we have this monstrosity out. The exclamation point is the first Poke Glitch for this LP, and it's pretty... lackluster actually. It only has one move, you can't keep it, which will be seen why shortly, and it's also kind of weak. However, as you can see, its release just pretty much fucked up the battle screen. The Pidgeotto's name is now replaced with a bunch of blobs, and its health bar is shot through the roof. I should also state that with exclamation mark's release, the music slowly quiets down until it's completely silent. No interesting glitchy music here, but it's kinda creepy how the music just dies. Exclamation mark's cry is a strange sequence of a distorted seal/dugong cry, followed by a regular Zapdos cry. This is exclamation mark's one and only move. It doesn't even have a name. However, the typing is interesting in that it's the Cool Trainer type. For those that don't know or may not remember, Cool Trainers are one of the many different types of trainers you can fight. They tend to be the hardest ones too, just ranking behind certain gym leaders in the Elite Four. Now, when you try to use the one move exclamation mark has, it'll disobey you for some reason. Either it won't obey or use a different move. In my case, it always used Pound, despite the fact that Pound isn't even part of its moveset. In general, this guy acts like a high-level traded Pokemon, despite the fact it's only level 12 and traded Pokemon won't disobey you until level 20 if you don't have any badges. Honestly, the simple answer is that the game just doesn't know what to do here, so it's all jargoned up. Everything is going to hell, and at this point, it's just trying to get out of this situation. Pidgeotto is using its own weird attack, but it seems to just be a renamed quick attack. Also, I may have been wrong about exclamation mark being weak, since it's only level 12 and can survive a quick attack with little damage from a level 30 Pidgeotto. Then again, it's impossible to look at its stats because the Pokemon screen is blank when you try to view it. Every time I use it, Pidgeotto's health bar also increases in size. After a few attempts of trying to have the Cool Trainer move work, exclamation mark is already at PP. It never does work really, and interestingly, you can't use Struggle to fight. Struggle is basically your last resort move any Pokemon can use when it's out of PP. I've never actually seen it in action myself, but allegedly it's not very effective. No other moves can be chosen, so we're gonna have to run out of the fight, which makes the game crash. What just happened is the same for pretty much every wild Pokemon encounter, but what happens when we fight a trainer with no Pokemon? To answer this question, we must venture south of Pallet Town towards Cinnabar Island. If we try to go north, Oak will stop us at any place. Yes, even if you try to go across a barrier, Oak will interrupt you. You'll actually just be moving across the screen from right to left in an endless loop that you can't get out of, but it's still interrupting nonetheless. This fine gentleman will be our first test subject, a fisherman stuck upon an island waiting for any traveling seaman to give him a hit. This guy has a not glitched at all during battle Sea King, and we have good ol' exclamation mark again. The same thing pretty much happens, except in the middle of the battle, a sudden flash of gray screen appears. The game restarts. You would think that because this is something a lot of people have done, there'd be an explanation on why this happens, but I can't find anything. Either way, the game doesn't restart as cleanly as you would expect. Jigglypuff turns into... that. The various Pokemon that appear on the intro screen now face the wrong way. They also flicker in and out randomly, but good luck grabbing a screen cap that could appropriately represent that. Pressing start will bring up a gray screen again, but if we press A twice, the game will continue on from the last save point. I actually had a save file on this ROM before this LP, where I tested out a bunch of other glitches just to see how they behaved and such. The game appears normal, but it's far from it. When you try to talk to people, there are no text boxes. You just have to keep mashing B blindly until the person stops talking. You can't see the start screen when you bring it up, but if you happen to click the Pokemon menu, the overworld sprites disappear and the area becomes the background for your Pokemon menu. Sure, you can't see their names, but you can go between them just fine. Bringing up their stats makes all hell break loose though. It brings up this mess. And then the game suddenly thinks you're in a battle, and apparently you throw a Pokeball and catch some unknown entity, and then the game crashes. At this point, everything flickered like crazy, and I couldn't get a good screenshot. You can see Nurse Joy at the top flickering a bit, so you know I'm not just speaking bullshit. Other than that, the game in the state if you don't look at Pokemon stats is pretty boring. Trainers don't notice you, you can't get into any random encounters at all, you just walk around with nothing to do. Still, the random battle in the overworld was pretty entertaining, so I guess we got that out of it. Rumor Bust. What happens when you walk into the grass fields east and west of Pallet Town? Absolutely nothing, except for the game crashing. There are no secret Pokemon, no level 100 wilds, your best friend in elementary lied to you. Just thought you should know. But that should be enough for now. Next time, Pokegods. Oh, and Brock too, I guess.